What up, party people? So excited! It has been 3 long days since I've seen everybody. Welcome to your daily fix with NFA OFC, not financial advice, of fucking course. Maybe you saw our disclaimer at the beginning. I have been on our holiday weekend in Canada, incredibly sick. Hey, everybody. And so now I'm feeling somewhat of a normal person. And when I'm on mute, I'll be coughing the entire time. So let's get right into what we're going to be doing today. Obviously, money flow cycle gives us a heads up on how the money is moving in the market so we can actually make informed decisions. Market cap, dominance, Bitcoin, and ETH, always what we go through. And then we're going to catch up on, hey, Kasuma, Phantom, Casper, Filecoin, PYR, Pure or Vulcan Forge, I think it is, and Senate as well. So we're going to try to just kick it off and get Pope out here because I missed everybody.
That was a mouthful. Good job.
Thank you. Hey, buddy.
How we doing? It was so nice to have a holiday weekend.
I know it's hard for you. It's hard for you to have a weekend.
And things go crazy on weekends when I take holidays. Like, you got by Moonbird, all sorts of things went on this weekend that was nuts. This was a news show. There'd be so much to talk about. Thank God it's not. And all we talk about is money, where it moves, and how to get in between those movements and take your money out.
Profit, baby. Profits.
Look at it. So today was a very interesting day for a lot of people. I was catching up in DMs and a lot of other IRL work before even looking at the markets. And I only looked very briefly to see what everybody was panicking about. And it was this clearly here today. Obviously, our tomorrow here. But what happened? We had a massive amount of money leave, and we haven't seen it in that long where it was that fast. And we saw it in the reds, or maybe you guys saw it in the reds of the alts. And we talk about when it wants to leave, it'll do it, and it'll do it in a hurry. $91.05 billion total exit of funds. Now, we've obviously have come up to our present of where we're at. So we've only seen a total amount of 12 billion. So that was a lot of money to come in and out quickly. And when we've been talking about, that was on the 4 hours. Ooh, no, that was on the daily. My bad.
So you're really considering the wick in this scenario.
Well, that's the total movement, right? Like, let's look at this. When do you think the money left?
Yeah, that's quite.
Look how long it's normally been taking for that much money to leave. To its highest, to its bottom, right there. Just drawing a trend line, right? Like, when was the last time that happened in a day? A day and a half for up. Another one, but it's been a long time.
This explains the panic.
Right. And absolutely could be a stop loss hunt, liquidation, chasing, shorts. There's so much. The bull run is back, baby. The parades, scroll through Twitter. Everybody's a crypto expert. All of a sudden, we're going to the moon again. Right. Or today, if you have a quick look, the bull was over. It was great. Thanks for coming out. You missed it. That's a lot of price action for those 2 days to be almost right back smack dab in the middle. So interesting day for volatility. But one of the things I love about this is we have it. The money is here. We've been we've been in this. Let's just do a reset here. We haven't been in this $1.9 trillion market cap for a while. What do we like to do? We like to, let's have a look at history where it's been consolidating, go back in time and check. And we can see, okay, we were resistance here, fought in here, resistance support. We're being approximate, quick and dirty. We're zoomed out quite a bit here. On a daily, does it look like there's any reason to panic? Looks like we're starting to build support and resistance. Around that 1.8. Probably going to hit it. Oh, speaking of hitting it. Right around in here next. That weird even number we keep talking about, the twos. So just looking at price stat, just looking at what's happening, totally makes sense. We talk about having these retracements. In fact, I think what that line was, we'll get rid of it. These are healthy ups and downs. This, when it goes like that, that's panic. Those are the chicken littles.
Can you make that a little bit bigger there, my friend? Because I can't even see the wicks in there. Thank you, sir.
I'm so used to. And this was, like we said, quick and dirty on the daily in this region across the history of the total market cap was this consolidation. Lots of up, pullback, and now we're hitting it. It would make sense that we're going to hopefully try to get to this 1.2. This is where we want to get to. This is our next goal, obviously. And we know because it's also that even number. And we'll probably do this. These are always possible. These are the days not to panic. These are the days where you get excited when you wake and you see red. Red is the cure for FOMO. If you're on the sidelines with money waiting and you've been feeling you've been missing out, this is what red days are for. Don't just jump in right away. Let's find some red entries. Let's see what the trends are doing. What are the indicators saying? Speaking of which, what are the indicators saying? Our critical greed, our critical fire. We're starting to see the curl right here. Now, we want this to continue to spread, but we know healthy retracement, and guess what? Consolidation is healthy. Where are my tools? So it makes sense to me. We're going to try and bounce, contest this, and then come back all around, whether it happens in a day, wick, or the next few, this area. None of what I think we're seeing right now is out of the norm for our total market cap. We're still hovering right in this area. The high eights, the low 19s. Absolutely some fear and some stop loss hunts. And if you had limit entries at lower price points, which you'll see later in some of the stuff we go in, if you followed what we were saying, if you feel like you've missed out, wait for the retracement back to these lines. That's where you put your limit entry. And if you did, let's find out how many of those hit for some of these ones that were bangers that we've been calling. But that's later. So market cap, it's in critical situation. Typically, it means we consolidate or move the other direction. When it's talking market cap and the whole bullish sentiment of everything going on, and we don't even have retail in the market yet, this to me means consolidation. Profits taken, a lot of them today. and back to on our ways, off to the races. As I've
Is
been
it
told.
is it is it possible that we can pull back to that next line of resistance?
Down here again?
Yeah.
Sorry, right here, the
Hmm.
1.88. Oh yeah, I bet we'll hit wicks in here for sure. We'll most likely fight. And when I say going up and down, this is the hard thing when it wants to not let me squiggle. I think it's going to be ups and downs in here with the wicks.
Right.
Bodies, I don't think, are going to be resting down here, but never say never. But I think the sentiment is we're in a bullish market finally. And we know we don't have a retail market in yet. We have more commercial adoption in this market so far than we do retail, which last time we had a bull like this, it was the exact opposite. Weird. Anyways, let's get back to it. And just looking at it right away, when we see the greens and we know we had some reds, we know that means all the money is going right back into Bitcoin. And that's a massive shift when we're talking in our percentages for how much money is in Bitcoin. I mean, it's almost $1 trillion of a $2 trillion market cap market is in Bitcoin. So when it goes up that fast and starts to leave the market in terms of your profits, these little movements are huge. And if you got experience to that today, be wick outs or panic selling, you know what it feels like now. But we've been talking about how these healthy retracements are healthy. You know, we can just start picking some of these and piggybacking them. We'll leave that there. Let's see how that plans out. That'll be interesting. Why not? Makes sense. Love squiggles. Bitcoin. I mean, what are we talking about?
Nice
Are
call.
we
Look at that, following that line.
consolidation box gonna go up in between here? Consolidate in the middle. We didn't consolidate in the middle. We support resistance in it, then took off and then stayed. And we always said what? It has the potential at any given time to break out of this whole channel in either direction. We always said this was highly unlikely due to the bullish sentiment. Let's get rid of it. Let's get rid of all of it. Let's just start minus. Get rid of the boxes so we don't have to redraw those. Let's get rid of the parallel channel. So these purple boxes, if you're new, are our weekly areas of consolidation, which land quite nicely with our daily. The gold is our weekly trend lines. Looks different because we're on the daily. We can see we're starting to get that curl of our micro bull, but we know we have bullish sentiment. So here's the question. Are we going to consolidate along here and start to retest our next levels of support and resistance, which would be way back in here somewhere? And we can drop one of these in. We're on the daily. There we are. Let's drop another for low. We'll go 2 above and 2 below. And where are we? Probably more realistically somewhere in there. So we are fighting to stay out of this weekly consolidation. We want to retest on it. We have been able to do that. That is good. We're holding this area of strength as opposed to having to go bounce around in it. So now we're bouncing around on top, hasn't been able to beat that 52.395 area to get to where we just did a quick squiggle to there. Right. So same thing, somewhere in this amount is probably where we're going to bounce trying to get to here. This is our target right now. Again, like we said last time, it could just freaking skyrocket. It takes one announcement of one ETF buying a fuck ton of Bitcoin, and it's gone. It's off to the races. I said it. Yeah. For all you playing the drinking game, you're welcome. Hilarious. I read the comments. Ethereum. Ethereum's been a great call since the beginning of this show. That curve still looks like it might actually come into play. And we said our next major resistance was going to be this weekly $3,060. Where have we not been able to hit? We've pulled back. Seems to me now like we'll probably consolidate in this area, trying to fight this, and we need to get on top of it. We need to break 3,100. We will. All the indicators are saying we're heading that direction. Looks like we're going to have a little bit of pullback first. It's probably going to do this in here a bit before it breaks out. Retest. I would like to see it sail through that one, retest, and that's what I'd love to see. Right. But maybe this is going to be one of our bigger retracements in a bit. We know a big retracement correction's coming. There's going to be people that have been in the game that are going to take some profits, scare some people out. They're going to let everybody get a little more excited, and then it's going to be like, yoink, haha, gotcha. And then everybody's like, see, it was bullshit. Oh, no, it's still going again. That's coming. We haven't really had that one yet. We're getting it in the short-term time frames with alts, which you saw today, and things like that. But we'll be curious. So Ethereum, I think, is just going to keep doing this. That'll healthy ups. And it's going to have troubles breaking the gold lines because we know those are our weeklies. And Ethereum hasn't had its day yet. It's still lagging for whatever reason, because I think eyes are on a lot more. There's a lot more in the ecosystems now, but majority of stuff is still built on this token still. Not an Ethereum maxi by any means, but just saying it will have its day. So that's, as always, the total market money flow with market cap, the dominance, and then our two majors. Looks to me we should have some consolidation going through, and maybe even some profit taking, some pullbacks. Where are we in that psychology of the market that we talked about last time? Where are we in our trades that we've been getting into? We're still sitting pretty. And this was one that was called on the show a while ago. And we got our entry down in here. We had our consolidation box in here. We hit our support resistance there. This was a lot of profit. If you've been in town here and you haven't taken profit yet, you haven't learned from what I've been trying to teach you, or what we say in the Discord. Because how much profit do you need? We even said it was going to consolidate and bounce in this area. That's what these two lines were. Look where it ended up holding. Pulled all the way back and then ended up holding here right now currently. So it's still bouncing in here. So if you missed it, you didn't take profits and you're still here, of course you're still sitting good. But if you were on the sidelines going, I missed out, do I want to buy? I don't know yet. Do we have a 3-channel down now? Is there more pain to go? We have the top of the curve. Is there going to be more profits taken out? Or are we going to start to see the turnaround and we go again? What changes that? Dominance. Money flow and dominance. If the dominance starts going back into the coins again, we know this is just a healthy pullback from going up and we're off again.
It's really hard to know, when you're in it and then you see those percentages going up. It's really difficult to know when to pull out. But you're right. Looking back at the dominance and the market cap itself will give you an idea. So you can catch it on the way down, maybe not that far down. So
right. But what was our goal? Our goal for this short-term rate, short-term-ish being probably a few weeks, our goal was to find the entry where we broke the downwards trend. We did. We got it. What do we just always talk about? You want some ups, healthy retracements, and some ups, healthy retracements. Why panic here? Because we're going to have our ups, healthy retracements, our ups, healthy retracements, our ups, healthy retracements. If you were watching a few shows ago up here going, oh, damn, I wish I got in down here, because you're going to go up here. We're still going up here. This is one of our healthy retracements. This is your cure for the FOMO if you missed Cosmos. Now, is this our best entry? I don't know. On the daily, it's starting to say there's a little more pain. This would have been a great entry down here at the support area of the bottom of this consolidation. Oops, what am I on? Right. This was probably all done quick and dirty, but you can see that wick almost made it down to the bottom here. You took the top of the support resistance, the wicks in here, you got an entry, or you got wicked out. I'd be curious to see. Patience and zooming in. What did we just get on the 4 hour? We got our micro bear cross coming. We have discount pricing coming in. Most likely we can get, if you've been wanting to get into Atom, guess what? This is what we want to see. So somewhere in here, once we see this belly and we know we're back up, somewhere in here, which might be this price right here. But right now, I don't have the belly. I have lines that are just going down. And this means it could go down a lot more. And if you don't know what I'm talking about that belly, there's a whole bunch of modules on it. There's the belly there, the micro bear. For every bull, there's a bear in all different time frames. We're about to have our little micro bear. It's healthy. I'm thinking, yeah, finally, I can get in. I'd be looking in this area, ironically, which is the same place where we drew these lines. We'll leave
like that. How it all works out like that.
Right? Tickety boo. Oh, speaking of working out, there's one I can't wait to show.
Do tell.
Phantom.
My friendly primate, tell me something.
Oh, it's coming. It's coming. It's coming. The exact example of what we've been talking about. Oops. I just drew that roughly, right? Healthy retracement to up.
Can you make that bigger when you're done placing that? Because
I'm just having a quick look, right?
Oh, yeah.
It was more for
take your time.
The point too. No, but I appreciate it because, like I said, I could always. This was just for shits and giggles, not even measuring anything other than healthy retracement up. That one happened a lot faster, but you're still having these downs. It's funny how it's jumping on my screen, but we're having these, and then we're right on this line, maybe starting to curve, maybe starting to enter. It's tough to see on the daily. Sorry, just looking for my keys. We might start to curl. If we start to curl, we know we might get a better price in this range. If this starts to open up again, if these start to open up and spread like they do down here, then these are healthy retracements and we're still on an upwards motion, which is why we bought in down here. Now is not the time to panic here, especially if you're still in for the longer hold. These little retracements are coming. But if you're in on those ins and outs over the 3 to 5 day swings, yeah, these are your entries. This is where the FOMO cure is. But we want to make sure we're not now going down. And how do we do that? Is by zooming in. And what do we got here? We have more downward action on the 4 hour for Phantom. We're coming up to a micro bear cross. We just got off micro bull and we're still clearly in a downwards action.
That micro bull thing looks like it's curling up behind that red candle for some reason. I don't know if anybody's noticed that. Like sometimes that little curl happens behind the candle when you
see what I did there? So what you can do is you can hover over your indicator, click it. So now we can see the dots are on it. So I know I'm on the micro bull, micro bear. Now right click it. You can go visual order and you can go bring to front. So it's always in front of everything. So you can see my lines are over the candles there.
Right.
So that's just
I get rid of, like, I just hide the candles, but that makes more sense. So you can see it all at the same time.
Right. Because these are, if you want to play safe, what I'm always looking for. And since we know we've already started to come down, there's a good chance right now, it's saying a good chance we'll probably consolidate for a bit. And then it's going to decide up or down. So for me, if I'm looking for an entry on a 4 hour, I'm still waiting. We're right in the median of price action of a long time. On a 2 hour, still say, might find a better entry, might be stabilizing around where our good entry is. So all in all, Phantom's still on its way up. We've been doing great with it as a pick. If you missed out, these are the points where you go, okay, where do I find my entries on these? And if you're in it for the long haul and you're in for another, 3-4 weeks or longer, these little ups and downs like this either give you dollar cost entry where you can buy in again to get more, or, you just ride it out. And when you get the big cha-ching, you take it then. Let's have a look at Kusama. Here was our entry. We called the entry at our price. We hit it a day earlier than we thought we would. Would we talk about up here before? We talked about it would probably consolidate along these lines. Then it would take off, come back. Like, why is it where it's at? Why do we draw these lines where they are? Here, same thing. If you thought you missed out on Kusama, great entry. Buy them on the red days. Now this is a new day. Like I said, with market sentiment, we'll probably have a little pullback and then off. So zoom in and find a better entry. But if you were going, I want to get into this a few days ago, we've had this line of support. We've talked about how it's going to bounce here. Put a limit buy in for 44.1488. That's what these are for. Now we'll still have a little price action. These are slow trades. It's going to take us a while, but even still, we get to our most localized high from right now here where we are today, right up to there. You're still looking at 25%. You didn't get to join us for the full 55, but I'll take 25 over no 5.
This is what I was
So
talking to you about earlier is like, as things are going up, we know we're in a bull. You're going to get these healthy retracements, but I never know when I'm going to be a sheep and get in when it's too high and then it's going to dip, or when it's the appropriate time to still get in because it's got some legs to it.
I'm going to address that in a little bit if I can.
Yeah, please do, because I'm curious.
Because I have a really good answer to that, but I don't want to get too sidetracked yet.
Yeah. No, I'll bring it up later.
Because we'll get through our regular coins, our regular picks. We'll jump into a little bit of theory that I've been getting asked a lot about, and then let you know that I'm back on the hunt again. I'm looking for these red days. Where am I looking, and what am I excited for? And that's what today and tomorrow has been. Today's been a lot of DYOR. Back at it, though. I mean, if you're new and you're looking at this, you're like, fuck, that's a lot of squiggles. If you've been with us since day one, I fucking told you so. I get to say it every now and then. So if you're just catching up, this is where I said short it, came all the way down, said it was probably going to hit this bottom weekly resistance where it's hit. And we drew these squiggly bows saying this is where we would like to, I see it ideally for the sake of Casper and the consolidation. But most likely it was coming down this bigger belly, and the cross would be somewhere around here. That was how many days ago? Like, come on. Come on, man. So we're just going to do the same thing that we did down with Casper, but on the way up. And this on that weekly and that, you better have cashed out if you're in here. Now, look, we're having consolidation in this area. We got this. Guess what? We're going to go up to here. Go up there. Pull back. And we're fighting for a localized high of, 45%. Don't fade this. This is a great product, great community. We've called this one from day one. We haven't drawn a line on this thing since I couldn't tell you how long. We're having that retracement. This is a great entry long term. This is on the 4 hour. We're already off. We got 3 up. We can see we'll probably have a little bit of a pullback. So if you're looking at Casper, still wait a bit. We'll get a little bit of an entry somewhere in here. But yeah. And that's the other thing. You don't have to sliver these. And what I mean by that is, if you're like, yeah, no, we finally got consolidation. I don't know if it's going to rocket again. I don't want to buy a green rocket. Buy right now here today, its price to where our target is just shy of 45%. So are you going to care if you shave a couple little bit here at that point, depending on how much time you have to master a perfect entry? There are no perfect entries. There are no perfect exits. And one of the problems in a bull run is, and we're going to talk about this in a sec too, is a common sheep thing is to just sit and watch. Oh no, it's going to get better entry. Oh, it's going to get a better entry. And the next thing you know, you've already missed massive gain. I mean, from the first time we did our stream on Beam and BCB and go back and watch, some of these have already 10x'd. The bull run isn't anywhere near over, nor really hasn't started. And we know that because of retail. But when we see days like today, hell yeah, there's some sales to be looking at and entries. And if we had alerts and you were watching the markets a little better, we probably would have had entries a little better, 8 hours ago, or limit entries in. You would have hit them. and you'd probably be in profit already. But Casper, I mean, what a blast this coin has been. I can't wait to get Amir on. Amir called it too a little while ago in the Discord. He was talking about it. But yeah, we got to the belly. We got down to our weekly support. We were only off by 3 days for the bullish cross. I'll try harder next time. My bad. Our next 3, speaking of coming back and looking for possible entries of projects that are going to do great, we were in and out before in this time frame quickly. I can't remember how long ago that was, but we were in and out there for a quick 6.94%. Where are we with this curve? We lined up here pretty good. Are we now going to be on a downward action? We're really starting to get a curl here.
Can you pop in and see what that looks like on the weekly? Not, you don't have to do anything on it. Just quickly check and see what that looks like on the weekly when you have a sec.
Why don't we do that?
Thank you.
Vulcan Forge from the very beginning. Freshly marked up on the weekly. Let's do it. So we'll take a trend line. We'll make sure it's our weekly trend line. Take it from its high. Put that always where you never want it. I think that's rule number 1. Fair to say on a weekly, that's support and resistance. So I'm going to use a horizontal here. One of these things ain't like the other. There it is. Sorry. So there we are on the weekly in terms of trend, how much price action we have to go up. For all those that may be thinking this is small amounts of money, there's 20%. Our next support resistance would be somewhere in there at 55, and then at 74, 91.
This is why I like trading on the weekly sometimes.
Definitely. It's longer, slower.
Definitely.
Right?
But, you know.
Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. In fact, the more capital you stack, the longer you have it, the slower you trade, in all honesty. Why would you be doing all the stress of the in and out? So we can also see we have a localized high over here that we could do other trend lines and stuff. I'm going to keep it really simple on this. And then I'm going to put a weekly consolidation. But let's go to the wicks, because I find the wicks are a little more oomph, so to speak, with weeklies than versus the dailies. So we're going wick to wick. I'm going to change that to my weekly rectangles. They're all the same color. And then I'm going to not do quick and dirty on that one and get it pretty lined up. There we are. So that's all we've done is 3 things to analyze Vulcan Forge on the weekly. And none of these principles change on any of the time frames. It's going to be the exact same thing. So we can already see we're starting to go into this rectangle. We want to stay above this trend line down, because then that means we're starting to go the other direction. We've broken this long ass trend, which looks like we have started here. Healthy retracement. That's what we're hoping for. Healthy retracement, up, healthy retracement, up, healthy retracement. I mean, 6 to 8 to 12, come on. That's a no-brainer. What are the indicators quickly showing us? Consolidation to possibly going down. We can already see consolidation rectangle within a consolidation rectangle. So I can stick this way. Let's jump in on the daily now. When we're saying you can see consolidation rectangle upon consolidation rectangle, here's a daily. It's needing to break out not only of this channel on the daily, but on the weekly, it needs to break out of this line. And it's fighting. It's broken down yesterday, pulled up right to hold above, staying right in the middle here, saying consolidation with the possible chance of coming down. On the daily parallel channel, let's use that. Let's confuse lines. Oof. It needs to retest.
Looks like we're looking for a little retest in all respects.
I mean, that's really interesting, actually, in that regard. And this is where the money coming into the market is going to help with that. If money starts flowing in, we know gaming is one of the dominant altcoin narratives. AI, we just saw a massive run in AI. So if I wasn't in Vulcan Forge right now, I would be watching for an entry. I don't think I'd buy right now here today, unless I was planning on not carrying for the next few months. That's the other thing too. I've seen a few smart people say online, like sometimes the easiest way to trade a bull market is to buy now and do nothing but hold and walk away. Don't even look. That is one trading strategy. Absolutely. That's an investment style trading strategy. Buy, forget about it. Forget about it. Is that most successful for people that don't know how to trade? Yeah. Senate is a prime example of money can come in quickly and leave quickly. We got our retest. If you didn't take profit in these 10 nines percentage, you can already come down. We're back lower than our entry was before. That's why you got to take the profits. You would have had your profits. If you were still holding, you're back down. It's probably just a retest curl and on our way up again. But that's the importance of not stressing. Dollar cost entering. If you got in here, didn't take your profits, now you're going to enter again. And double checking that you're still not on this downwards trend, which right now we are. This is our retest, ironically, for the same exact point where we were up here. Crazy. Interesting to watch for a while. Would I be getting in right now here today? Nope. I'd be zooming in and really watching. We've had one red day. And this, when I say this, is if I'm getting in for shorter terms. Just like I said earlier, if you're getting in for a few months, you're not going to care. It's a red day. Buy red days. Then go away and forget. Really, sometimes that's simple. You just got to know what projects you're buying, do your own research, and use money you can afford to wipe your ass with. So a prime example there of you would have made great profits if you took them. And now you're looking for another entry where it looks like we're probably going down. If you didn't take them, you're down a bit. And that's the importance of taking profits. Don't get married to something. Hope that answers that. And Filecoin. I mean, really, when this pumped, I was so happy. You guys are welcome.
It's like a gift on a silver platter, isn't it?
Oh, like, geez, cry. Right? Like, hello, what's this? And when we say it can take off, this is what we're talking about. And would I be getting into Filecoin right now? No. Do I believe Filecoin is still going to be a big narrative? Yeah. Just like I said before, this hits on so many different levels. This hits in AI. This hits in your, what do they call it? DPIN, your decentralized physical interoperability or something. And it's solving real problems. And this is what we're looking for. And this is why we keep going. We'll find these entries and we'll do these again. You know, is it the best time to get in? No. Could it be coming right back down? Probably not. Is it going to have pullback? Absolutely. To me, it looks like we might have a perfect cup and handle. I mean, not quite perfect, a little bit lofty there, but you know what I mean? A little bit of a pullback, and then we're starting to challenge this next area. And we're trying to get into here. What is in here? From where we're at, that's another 20 some odd percent. I don't know. What do you think, guys? Should we go for it? We just did it in a few days. If you got in early, I would have taken profits. Yes. I think we may have a little bit of pullback. That being said, I still think it's going to take off up to these other levels that we just talked about. I just don't think it's going to do it tomorrow because we just had a massive run. It's going to consolidate, probably pull down a bit, consolidate, and then it'll go off. Is Filecoin one that I'd be upset if I was holding it for this whole bull run? I would be happy to do the math. Absolutely. This is going to hit so many different levels of AI, storage, integration, tons of use case scenario, great team, product behind it. This is going to go again. Absolutely. Just don't buy it right now. Take profits right now. This is the time to take profits. And you're welcome. God, I love seeing that when that happened too. Now, that there has been pretty much everything we've been talking about for the last little while when it comes in terms of calls we've seen, plays we've made. We'll always go over them. If you're in the Discord, you can ask us questions. We'll answer them up on the show. Kate's usually pretty good at being able to get a finger or a word in edgewise to ask me these questions. Have we had any?
None here. Everyone's, well, Desi said Heidi ho, Farmer Katie and Farmer Pope. So just a comment. No, everyone's just kind of, I think everyone missed us for the last few days. So everyone's just listening.
And we missed them. So some couple of things to talk about before we get into who's a sheep and who's a chicken and all that. The ongoing saga between us.
All right, okay.
When we're talking about how much you spend, how much are you allocating to certain things, I wanted to spend a few minutes, and in our Discord, I'll have a graphic here for you on how I allocate my trading numbers. I allocate the total amount of trading budget, my trading market cap, all the money I have in trading, I break down a very specific way. And then within each one of those is also broken down. So for example, if I did it as $100, $1,000, whatever you want to use, $100, right? 5% of that budget, of my total budget, is reserved for me swinging. 10% is dry powder at all times. Always cash on hand. Now, that does not mean I only ever leave 10%. Hear me out. You'll learn that there's more cash left in other budgets. But 10% of the entire total budget is always on the side for black swan events, things we never see coming that hit hard on the go. 20% is set and forgets. These are the little projects that I've done a ton of DYOR in, that I've had faith from day one. I know the teams, and I've divvied those up. I bought them when they're young, And I don't even look at them again, other than to check out for news drops or anything like that, because I have conviction. That other 65% is what I call my allocation. And in that 65% is now, depending on what kind of market we're in, is how I change that. Right now in a bull market, 20%. So we're now talking 65% of my total budget. 20% of that budget is my blue chips. That's your Bitcoin, your ETH, your ADA, Sol, XRP. It hurts to say those. AVAX, Link, Matic. Those are some of the top echelon cryptos. They hold it. We're going to see these, conservative returns on these. We're not going to see the Matics when we're buying it for pennies and selling it for dollars. Right? Maybe we will, but I'm not betting on that. But they are definitely a bigger chunk of those blue chips, which at this point, because we're in a bull, is a smaller percentage. If we're in a bear, the majority is Bitcoin. So alts now in a market like this, 60% of my alts or 60% of this budget is in alts. And I'm either in on the days or the weeks out of those alts. I'm following these narratives because they're not my set and forget long holds. I've already got those. The other 20% of that 65% is cash on hand. This is where you want to have, if you're swinging in and out and you're doing it with that 5%, the smallest part, when you're swinging, you're also only ever swinging with half that percentage. So I know all this percentages starts to sound weird, but let's say your leftover for swinging is $1,000. You're never swinging with 1,000. You're swinging with that 500, because if you make a mistake, you can dollar cost entry with your other 500 to help you get it back. So there is breakdowns of how I spend each budget and then how each budget is allocated. Now that's going to differ a bit. And I was trying to think for all of you and from a noob's perspective, how do you do those different kind of things with $1,000 or 5,000 or what I really learned is the main differences are between ones and fives. You're not going to really change anything from 10,000 to 100,000. As soon as you're in increments of 10, everything pretty much stays the same. But when you're trading with $1,000 to start, you're not diversifying as much. You don't have as much to swing with. It makes sense to hold these longer days trades that we're finding that are returning these better percents. Build your bags first. If you think you're new and you're going to come in here and you're just going to start high frequencies trading or swing trading or day trading and you're going to be successful, no, man. Majority of people fail in this game. It's our tools, it's our patience, it's our understanding in our groups that help us and our strategies. But you add it all together and you come at it with strategy for your finance, strategy for your budget allocation, strategy for your entries, your exits. And we layer them just like we have been. It's like you're seeing in our Discord, the people that are sharing their victories, taking these small percentages, stacking them, putting money aside for the long ones. I mean, if you got into Beam when we said, but if you would have traded out, get the first few percentage, you would have lost massive. So there is that healthy balance. And that's what I hope to help teach as well and share. And I'll have a graphic for that because it has been asked the last little bit. And then will be my next round of hunts. And I'm excited. I think that's everything I got. I kept it to under an hour.
Nice work, my friend. It's making up for that hour and 20 you did last week.
What happened? What happened? We've had a workplace accident.
Okay. In my defense, I've been sick for the last few days, although that's when I kind of pulled it together, actually. Okay. So I bought a little something, bought a little Canto, and it dropped. I know, Desi. Thank you for your sympathy. I bought a little Canto, and it dropped a little bit, and I got a little cocky, and I sat with it for a bit, and I thought it's just another, and it dropped like I think 10%. So when I actually, this is why I was up, and you and I are usually up until like 4 or 5 in the morning. But sick as a dog, I just sat there, and I ended up finding the best exit that made me down 9%, which was better than the 10. And then I realized today it dropped another 10%. So fucking nailed that extra loss. Let's say, let's look at a positive. But yeah, I just I got worked over a little bit and got a little cocky.
It happens to the best of us all the time. And that's why I love sharing our ups, our downs. It's really easy for me not to make cheap decisions when I'm out of the market for most of the time at the moment. So I'm just stacking the days. Like I said, I'm holding that as my ace. But I'm hunting entries now that we have some reds, and I'm more looking for this set and forget portfolio that some friends and family have been asking me about. So that's what I've been working on from different aspects, different genres, AI, DeFi, gaming, DePIN, all of these lovely things. So we'll have that for you. Excited to see you all again tomorrow. Been a heck of a crazy week. I did see the questions about the Yuga, the Moonbirds, and the acquisitions and things like that. I'll save that for the Discord. And
you have some thoughts on that. Have some thoughts on that, I imagine.
Yeah, there's another hour gone in the show. And as you probably noticed, we did have to have the disclaimer saying we are not financial advice, fucking course. How people don't understand that by now with our name is beyond me. Ladies and gentlemen,